So I've got a video for you today, yeah? I've got something good. This is going to be a call review. Now, some of you loved the last one. This one's an even better one. Why? Because there's a bit more skill involved. Now, in this call, you will see me take someone who, number one, has basically no money. Number two, spoke to another company before me, right? Was afraid of the price point, okay? And was just about to buy that program, but sell it on the program that I was selling for at a higher price, overcome some fears, overcome some limiting beliefs, get her out of her own way, that's a mouthful, to level up and become the best version of herself in this offer I was selling. Now, the sales style is pretty unique to this offer. You have to tailor what you do, the offer you sell on, but you will see a bit more finesse in this call around how to actually structure things to get someone who's very stuck in their ways out the other side, make a lot of money, and we got it through financing. So you like the sound of this, you're gonna wanna watch this one in full, take notes, you'll make some money, just like the last one, if you actually implemented, because that's the goal, right? So watch this one, take some notes, let's begin. Okay, my people, so today in this video, I'm gonna show and break down one of my sales calls. We're gonna show snippets of it so you can understand a very simple sales structure to use that is gonna actually help you make more money. So you're gonna wanna watch this video. I'm going to go slightly into some of the nuances here in my sales style, just to give you a snippet in terms of like what I actually go through in the top 1% closer. Obviously, there's parts missing, but this is just enough for you to run away with this, implement, and go make some cash. So let's jump into the sales call. So just so you have an idea, these are some of the phases I'm going to just like kind of go through. We're going to go through the introduction. I'm going to explain that a bit. I'm going to go into where we pick out problems, pain, how we use identity and mission-based selling, which is very offer dependent, but one of my sales quirks, if you will. Limiting belief removal process, logistics, and closing. So here we go. Now let's begin. Let's skip that shit in the beginning.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Yeah, good.
Oh. Hello. Hey, Rachel.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Good.
Awesome. Appreciate you, because I know it's early where you are.
Yeah.
But good to have you. Good to have you. Where are you calling in from then?
California.
So just before I begin, let's look at the introduction, right? So in my opinion, everything you want to do has to be tailored to your offer. Now, I was selling at the time an offer that had a very, I would say maybe 70% female or 60% female audience that were very spiritual. The price point was anywhere from 15 to like 60K packages, okay? And so because of that, there are certain differences I had to use here that if I was selling for some of my older, harder market, well, I don't want to say harder, but like older markets like financial advisors, accountants, and whatnot, I wouldn't do as much rapport. So I'm doing rapport here because I can already sense, okay, she's a bit stiff. I need to like loosen her up a bit. And I just have found from the calls based on the avatar, this does make a difference. I genuinely am someone who doesn't like to do rapport and shit like that, but I will do what is needed for the person to feel comfortable, to drop their guard, and allow us to now have a conversation. Okay, so it's what you're going to see here.
Really? Okay, nice. I've got quite a few friends there. I'm not from the States, I'm from London, if you can tell by the accent.
So I'm going to take a different approach in my sales call to build her up so that she can actually believe that, hey, she actually has value here. And so a lot of what I do in this call is to just boost her up a bit more because I can see that she's clearly lacking that, and I can hear it and see it like, you know, within 1 or 2 minutes of the sales call.
Okay, I see.
Is that kind of the direction you're asking about?
No, not.
Which again is confirmed because she's asking me like, oh, is that good enough for you? Is that a good enough answer for you? Because again, just that sort of self belief is missing.
Really, my question is more so to understand like because you've had the vision for so long, but obviously we're speaking here today and potentially making that happen for you, right? So my question, so that I can basically like get into your head essentially and understand
If you don't do that, you're losing sales. But what's important here to note as well is I'm hearing her use the word we, we're, this. That's going to imply a partner's involved. You mix a partner objection with a lack of self-belief, you're in for a fucking ride. And plus, you're selling a 15K plus product or whatever it is. It's not going to be an easy call. So let's see what happens.
exciting, it's exhilarating. So I think that's what it is. I think there's just this whole new shift. And I feel, I don't know if I'm ready to talk in front of a bunch of people, but
okay.
I'm curious to see if that's something that is on this new timeline.
Sure. Awesome. Well, we'll unpack that to see if it is for you. And to give you some context, and the reason why, I even love these calls is because I get to find and meet so many amazing people like yourself and really decide, okay, whether we should invite them into our support system, because we are very selective, in the sense of like, we do get lots of applications here. And I don't know if you knew, there's only like a 6% acceptance rate to get on the tennis stage to actually have a career from there. But that's ultimately why we have these calls to like pick and choose, okay, who do we feel like is ready, right? And so we're both seeing if it makes sense for you, right, today. So let's look into your message though, right? Like reclaiming your feminine power, like walk me through, like in 2 sentences, right? Like what's the actual takeaway that you want people to have?
I actually want to pause on this, right? Because this is something I spent a lot of time refining, is because on certain offers you get lots of ramblers, right? So you notice how I asked the question and my body language as well. I've paired the two together to basically reduce rambling. I'm just going to see if you guys notice this. Yeah.
Right, and so we're both seeing if it makes sense for you, right, today. So let's look into your message though, right? Like reclaiming your feminine power, like walk me through, like in 2 sentences, right? Like what's the actual takeaway that you want people to have?
I want people to.
So I said in 2 sentences, and I looked up, what's the actual takeaway that you want people to have? Why did I do that? Because with this question, when you go into like, again, I was selling a, what was it called again? Like a help people build a speaking career where they share their message with the world. And so like these calls, they can go on for fucking 50 hours if you let them ramble. So well, if you're dealing with ramblers, this is a takeaway that you can apply. How you ask the question reduces the rambling. So what was I doing? I put more thought into that. I was a bit more intentional. I said in 2 sentences. I was like, with my hand gestures, like, come on, don't fuck around. Like, this is what I want to hear. And it will basically speed up the process of me getting the answers that I want, which then I will use to build on, to basically build her like future identity, which we're going to get into, and use that to contrast between where she is right now, which is where we move on to the next section here, where we go into like ego identity, pain, problem, all that shit, right? Yeah, it just makes for a good call. So let's keep going.
Know that they're empowered to change their life for the better. And I want them to know that they have all of these inside of them. They just have to tap into it. And a lot of people are confused about how to get there because it's hidden inside of us. And a lot of times we don't want to look at our childhood because it was traumatizing. I have worked with a few clients who are scared to death of looking at their childhood trauma, and it's not even that bad. They just don't want to look at it because it's this little child that's scared. It's just affecting everything in their life. And so, but once they do tap into that, once they look at it and really meet that inner child, it's not as bad and as scary as they think it is. And once they are able to even just be present with that inner child, something shifts, something changes so that they can actually heal the part of them that was developed as a child. Like the first 7 years are the most formative times of our life. And
100%.
yeah, and so once we can heal that integral foundational part of us and not change it, but like integrate who we are now with that younger part, then we can shift into a new paradigm.
So all she's doing is giving me more context in terms of like why her message is her message. So this is okay. She's not talking about random shit.
We can become more confident. We can change the things that we don't know, like subconscious blocks, self-sabotage. That's not part of it. Is that there's this dark feminine nature that we have, women have, and well, everyone does. And we can just we'll heal our inner child, then our dark feminine can exude, can claim power, be empowered to actually be that whole and integrated part of us.
Yeah, wow. How does this become your message? This is it's deeper, like spiritual, like wisdom you're sharing. Like, and that takes years and I only know because I've gone through my own spiritual journey. So I'm just curious, like, how did this become your message?
So I grew up in a Christian home, and
so the only reason I'm going to ask this question is to build her up, build up her ego, inflate it, so that when we now look at the reality, it's like, oh, bam, you've got such a powerful message. but you're only reaching out to like so few people. What's going on? So that's the process that's going on here. Again, if I was to like take a zoom out, right? Whatever offer you're on, you already saw the introduction. Um, I guess if you're selling like generic stuff, like getting some context on their situation is important, which is kind of what I guess I'm slowly going into here. There's a bit more layers because the offer's a bit more complex. It's not quite as simple like, hey, you want to make 10K a month? Okay, cool, let's do that. There's more pieces to unpack. But we'll basically get there to understand what she's doing. Unpack the problem, go into pain. Here I'm actually doing a bit of the ego and identity stuff. Again, there's multiple layers. But let's keep watching and I'll kind of like zoom out again and just break it down. Excuse me, in better detail.
Everything was perfect, and then my parents got separated a few years ago, actually.
Okay.
And at that point, all me and my siblings were confused about like why did this happen, and some of us just went down a hole of being the worst version of ourselves, and some of us were been told. My dad always told me not to look into the occult or spiritual things. I found like my true self and the deeper aspects of spirituality. And so through doing that, through meditation, I've been able to find my true self. And like the first year that I had like a spiritual awakening, I wanted to like tell the world about this. But I had to take a step back and do my own inner work and really just integrate everything that I discovered about me and spirituality. And as I've been able to do that, I've gained wisdom in all of these different areas to inner child work and femininity and like my true self.
So you'll notice that if you start to, this is something I just picked up now, is when you start to, she's using similar words that I used in the question. So I was like, okay, it takes a lot of understanding or something for you to actually come to that conclusion. Like, how did that come across for you? And then she's kind of like mentioned that, and again here, which again tells me that like um, there's understanding being built, so she's gonna trust me more. I'm picking this out because on this offer specifically, there was a lot of there were people that didn't really trust or were skeptical and all this shit. But these nuances make a difference when you have your prospects kind of basically saying your words back to you. It's a good sign.
And how long has been your message, do you feel?
Probably, it's funny because I don't know if you follow astrology, but the time of the birthday is, okay. So like 6 months ago was when something started and it it came to like a completion or a head a couple weeks ago or last week. And that was when I launched my website. So 6 months ago, I started talking about feminine energy and the correlation of it on my YouTube. So I would say about 6 months.
Wow, okay, well, that's pretty good. I mean,
So that's pretty recent, to be fair. Let's see what we do.
when you started talking about it, I guess then your spiritual development, like when did that actually start, like your awakening, like you said?
About 3.5 years ago.
So it was really like 3.5 years ago that you had that feeling that you wanted to tell the world a bit about the realizations you had, right?
Well, so the desire to speak and speak a message started, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, but
Really? Oh.
but I didn't really have a message back then. I just kind of knew. It's like, you know,
See, was wanted.
So a big part of sales, one of my calls I mentioned about leverage, right? What is leverage? Leverage is just how much weight or emotional baggage you can build up to basically make the desire to change big enough. Now, I'm only asking these questions to get more leverage. She says 6 months. Is that enough to move someone like her who's going to tell me, yeah, a week ago I just started my website? No. It's very, very important. Okay. So when we move on to this section here of the problem, if I have a problem that was started 1 day ago, 2 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, a week ago, even fucking 6 months, is that really deep enough for me? Me, no. Like, I'll be honest with you. So I'm always asking questions to understand what is the real problem here. And this is where shit gets quite deep. And, with the avatar, I can go this deep as well. The problem is almost like a problem with her state of being. Like in the sense of like not fulfilling her life's purpose. That's a fucking problem. That's what we're going to unpack here. So like if you have conversations around that as opposed to like, oh, so you want to be a speaker? Okay, what struggles are you having with speaking? Fuck that. That doesn't move people. Like I'm going as deep as I can. That's the purpose of really understanding these fundamentals. Because look, let's be honest with you. Let's be honest with each other, guys. Like intro, you've heard that word before. Problem, you've heard that word before. Pain, you've heard that word before. Identity, every motherfucker wants to tell you about identity. Remove pre-handling object. Everyone wants to tell, but can they really go deep with you on each one? No. Okay. This is what, like, really going deep into like real problems and this process again with this avatar, and you pair this with identity, it gets them really. It will get them emotional, and this lady does. Spoiler alert! End up crying, I think, at some point in this call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, whoa, okay. No, and how old are you now?
30.
Okay, so like when you were 20, like you had that feeling, that knowing internally, and we call that internal knowing that like through life's events it then prepares us to be able to see it more, but it doesn't make sense in the beginning, right?
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And so I guess for you as a goal with this message, like where do you want to take it to?
Like for me personally or for the world?
So as always, there is no sales call without a goal, and you can see I'm going from bigging her up, boosting her self-confidence around the importance of what she has, because I can see she doesn't have the confidence now. Boost it up. Let's go into goal. Let's bring you back down to earth. Let's uncover the problem. Let's go into pain. Let's fucking use identity throughout the whole shebang, and then handle so many limiting beliefs. So let's watch this play out.
Well, I guess for the world also is personal. There's also some personal satisfaction from that. So I guess it's both.
Yeah, I think before it was very much about like my ego and wanting to just like have something. Like I'm very ambitious and driven, and so just being able to like put that on a platform, I guess. But as I've grown, especially in the last, I would say even like 3 months, I've come to huge realization where I'm like, it can't be about me. You know, there is this like uncontrollable drive, this desire to speak this message, to do this thing, to feel fulfilled in my purpose.
Yeah.
It's not like, if it's all about me, then it's not going to give the right message. It's not going to be the energy that people need. It's not going to attract people.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I've shifted, or at least I hope I've shifted in a way where I'm like, okay, I need to be 100%, or not 100%, I need to be as balanced as I possibly can in the spiritual realm and the material realm, and asking my guide, God, to help me to bring the most authentic message that would be healing and helpful to people. And I know that my message alone is not going to heal the world, but I do believe that
It's needed though. Like I have to stop you there because it's like like you said, the age of Aquarius, right? Like a huge shift in consciousness, and I would see you as like a light worker, right? And the whole call to really share and bring that new awareness and that new light energy to everything.
I can't lie, like when I watch this shit back, I'm like, this is so gay. But this is exactly what helped me outsell a lot of people super fast, because they felt like I was one of them. I'm just literally talking about their world, what's going on spiritually, making them feel a connection, making them seem important. And like, I can't lie, because I am a spiritual person, and I was super spiritual before, and I have gone through my own understanding. These are these are truths I'm saying here. There's not really lies, but like, yeah, I think one of the best things as a closer is to have many different parts of your personality so that you can actually relate to more and more people. This is just one of the ones that I'm deciding to share at this moment. But yeah, like I said, it's a bit cringy, but it helps. I was out closing, so the new reps that were on this offer here specifically.
Shift dark energy, and actually create more blue in this world. And like you may not think it, well I think, because I'm hearing the message, like you're a very pivotal piece of the puzzle, and every piece is needed, and every piece has a massive effect on the collective, So I would, yeah, maybe I'm biased, I don't know, right? But like, I feel like what you have here is essential, I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
So watch that response, right?
But like, I feel like what you have here is essential, I would say.
Okay, thank you.
So now I've really like hit I've made her feel special. It was set up really well, because I started it off with like, hey, we only accept a few people, blah 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 blah. I could already see she was a bit low confidence. I've gone through, I've asked all these questions, I've saw her, I'm speaking a language. Now she feels like, okay, cool, this guy is on my team, he gets me, he sees me for me, and fam, like, and bam, like this could be like, you know, I'm more likely to trust him more. I want to see like maybe he's the next spiritual guide for me. Who fucking knows? But I can tell you for free, she's not having this conversation with anyone else, and you'll find out. She's spoken to different companies and whatnot before. One of the reasons why people will choose you over everyone else is because the amount of emotional connection they feel. It's not something that you're going to learn from all these other gurus, because me personally, I don't think people have sold competitively, not just internally with their own companies, but when you're competing against other good competitors as well, because there were a few competitors here.
Sounds like for you, it's a lot of the place you're coming from, which isn't the ego, right? It's to allow that message to be channeled through you so that you have the maximum.
So again, more qualification.
Millions, but I don't know.
Let's
Make it
listen.
tangible together. How many do you actually want to touch with this message? Impact, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like in terms of like, we can make it tangible together. How many do you actually want to touch with this message?
So I asked the goal question, if you remember, and if you don't get a tangible, and these are the drawbacks of selling spiritual people, is that whenever you ask about numbers, they run away. Okay, they don't want to talk about numbers. They don't want to talk about how much they make. They don't even want to fucking look into how shit their situation is. They're just avoiding it, right? So part of this thing is bringing them back to reality and saying, no, listen, this is what we're gonna fucking do. Okay, like you're not running away here. My process here is trying to understand how many people she's impacted, how much she's impacted right now, or how much she wants to make, and how much is she making right now. Like that's numbers ground people, you know. So it's quite important.
Millions, but I don't know. It's like,
Don't you feel like you're capable of doing that?
yes, I feel like
Boom! What a question. Do you feel like you're capable of doing that? This is where, if you attack the ego, so this is what I love doing also with more not linear sales processes, because this is not linear. When you have people who, so I've built up her ego, okay? Now, a question around her capability and whatnot is going to help me have the capacity of even raising what she thinks is possible. And why would I want to do that? The bigger her goal and the vision, the bigger the distance between where she is right now and where she wants to be. The bigger the distance, the more emotional pain, the more emotional pain, the more leverage, again, because leverage is the currency here, the more drive she has to buy. It's the only reason I'm doing this shit. And for me, I'd rather put in so much work in the beginning, so when I get to the end, I'm not dealing with bullshit. I hate, like, I can handle objections, don't get me wrong. Like, that's what I trained in the beginning, but I don't want to. So I'm always gonna put more work in up front, you know, and spend more time so that when I get to the end, I'm not hearing fucking anything, you know? So let's continue.
very powerful words of nature.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. There's no reason why you shouldn't be, right?
Right.
Especially with your personal life experiences and all the things that you've gone through. I don't know the full story, but the way you show up shows me that you've had to be resilient. You had to be resourceful. You had to push through a lot of shit, right? To be in this position where you are today, where you can see a higher timeline. You can't really see that if you haven't gone through shit, you know. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect anything less from you. Yeah.
I feel a little bit like I haven't gone through that much shit.
You think so?
I don't know, it's like compared to other people, but I do feel like I've had the gracious end of the stick in some ways where like God and my guides, they all knew that I would need to
Blah,
hit
blah,
really
blah.
hard and figure out what is all of this that's encompassed around it, you know? So
Yeah.
compared to other people, I don't feel like it's that bad, but I've been able to like look at every crumb, you know?
Yeah. And no one can say whether your experience is more valuable than someone else's, because that's not true, you know. So I understand. So really, it's to really hit like millions of people, isn't it? Really, or more.
So she wants to hit millions of people.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you this then: what's been the biggest challenge around getting to that level already?
Being seen.
So what am I doing? That's the problem question. What's the biggest challenge? So really, I'll move this shit around, right? So this is what we're doing. And this structure helped me a shit ton, right? So the problem. What's the biggest challenge? It's the first problem question. Let's see what we go through.
I want to be seen and have this strong desire. That's like part of my inner child work is I didn't feel like I was seen.
So notice that, right? I want to be seen. Now, If she said that without giving me all the context around her life, her mission, and whatever, that sentence would not hold as much weight as it does right now. So it is a strong desire because I have brought it out of her. 10 fucking years since she was 20. She's 30 years old now. 20. Having a message wanting to be heard. 10 years. This is what I mean. Now when I ask the actual problem question, there's so much weight behind it. It just makes selling easier. Again, my goal is just to give me the easiest life in sales. I don't want a hard one. So that's why I'm going to put in the work to make it happen.
And so constantly pressing to be seen, but there's this subconscious like block there that it's not that I'm uncomfortable to be seen, it's more so that when I am seen, I self-sabotage and I do things that like just mess it up.
Okay.
And it's more so like about context. Like I have all these thoughts in my head and then I don't create enough context for people to actually understand.
So this is good because she's giving me internal. So when we break down what problems and challenges are, you will have both external and internal challenges. Now, you don't want to just take external challenges without actually looking at internal challenges because everyone will have some internal blocks that stops them from getting to the next level. So this is why yeah, whenever you hit external, you always bring it back internal. She's going internal, which is great. I can tell she's self-aware. I'm gonna have less bullshit to deal with. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Working on that.
Right. So if I was to, because I always like to make sure I fully understand everything. So you're saying that the biggest sort of challenge has been being seen in terms of like getting actual exposure to millions, right? And then on the internal side of things, it's almost like putting the brake while trying to accelerate. It's like I want to be seen, but internally there's a bit of hesitation or fear or whatever word you want to use, right? Like that causes us to sabotage or do things to retract and keep us in the same position. Is that?
Yeah. So as you can hear, I've basically what's it called, compartmentalized it, and like this is such a big part of sales, by the way. Internal problems and external problems. It's so fucking big. Like Jesus Christ, man. I lost so many sales by not understanding that there's this distinction. And even when you go into when you're selling B2B, don't avoid this. You have the external problems, you have the internal problems. You need to get context on that, right? I have a whole process I break down on how to actually overcome them. Obviously, if you and this is why it's important, you have to overcome some of the shit on the call, because if you make the external problems make sense to your program but you haven't solved the internal stuff will always be the reason why they don't buy. But if you give them the confidence to know that they've already overcome the internal stuff with you, and there's obviously a bit more that you can add on through the program, and your programmer helps them overcome the external stuff, there's no reason why they wouldn't buy, you know? So that biggest challenge question here literally gives me most, if I don't want to say all the objections, but it gives me all the issues that she is facing that would stop her from moving forward with actually getting the help that she needs. Okay? And the reason I will get these answers is because I've set up the call so well. If I didn't do that, I would get very surface level answers. And again, like there's so much that goes into like everything. I like to think everything that I personally do is very calculated. There's never really a reason why. There's never really something I'm doing that doesn't make sense. There's always a reason for it, so that the setup makes sense. Yeah.
Accurate assessment? I see. Okay. How long has that been a pattern that you've been aware of?
Ever since I started my YouTube channel, so that was I started it in November, so less than a year.
Right. Okay. And do you feel like that's do you feel like that internal, let's say, blockage, if you will, is the reason, or is one of the biggest challenges right now? Is there anything else you feel? Because we'll unpack that together today.
I think so. Let me see. I think that it's mostly just like my blocks in regards to how I grew up and yeah, just that balance. I think that I want to be seen, but if I believe that I'm worthy of it, and I'm also like it's coming up for me where I'm like, am I worthy of this person? And there's different things that like tell me that I'm not, but those like are not even true, and so really just stepping into, you know, like is this a a them issue or a me issue? Usually it's a me issue. I have to push past that and be like, yes, I'm worthy of this, and I can attain whatever I desire.
And I appreciate you being so open and honest with me because I mean, it's only when you share things like that, then real breakthroughs happen, right? Like in the same way that you want to help others to actually be a source of inspiration and empower them, we can do the same for you because your goal. And in fact, before we unpack that, like, it's just mainly YouTube you're using right now to really, share your message out. Is that correct?
Yeah, and Instagram.
YouTube.
So I got the message. Sorry, I got the goal, right? And then I'm gonna go down into what are you currently doing?
Instagram. Okay, and you've been doing that since
In
is
time.
that 6 months ago, or is that like November? You said, right?
So yeah, I started it in November, but
Okay.
I really started talking about femininity in 6 months ago. So yeah, like I guess January.
January. Okay.
Yeah, and then on
We'll say like 6 to 8 months. Yeah, on Instagram.
okay, sorry, just on Instagram I started talking about like 2 months ago.
Okay, so collectively like 8 months. And I guess then in that period of time, over that 8 months, like how many people's lives do you think you've actually touched through the message?
I don't know. It's hard to-
Boom. Okay, cool. So let's again unpack this. Identity's been built. I'm just gonna recap this shit again. Identity's been built, vision's been built, she pumped all her emotion, she feels amazing, she feels like, okay, I'm a light worker, this is the best fucking vision and purpose of my life. I built it up. She wants to impact millions. Ask her what the biggest challenge is, ask her what she's doing right now, ask her how long, and then I'm saying, how much are you, like, where are you today? So we've got that big thing up there. I'm gonna go down here. And this is the start of the process which we go into, which is, so I've already, problems into pain. Okay, problems into pain. This is where a lot of the sales will be run. And no, I'm not gonna ask, well, in fact, you'll see what I ask.
say because YouTube, I feel like since I started fresh with that. Okay. With YouTube, I feel like it's made an impact in a lot of people's lives, and they've said thank you for sharing this kind of content. But it's hard to know because I feel like I go up and down with being able to attract a lot of viewers, and so like the
With such a
content.
message, wow.
Yeah. So like with the content.
Boom, I love this. But by the way, like fucking yeah, well, in fact, let me continue.
Content that I do share that I feel like is really powerful and good.
Yeah.
The people that see it are like, wow, thank you. And then it only gets like 85 views or something.
No way. What?
Yeah. So
But
I'm like,
your message is, how do people understand this?
So what am I doing? This is fucking massive, yeah? I've built up the fucking identity, yeah? And I've got her to understand that this is so big. This is such a massive opportunity. You can't like it's so important, her message. Now she's telling me the impact she's having, and I'm on her side being like, what the fuck? Like, you're only getting that? Really? How do people not understand? What do you mean? I'm like, we're looking at the problem together. We're saying, what the fuck? Like, why are people not understand? Are they weird? Are they strange? What's going on? And what's that's going to do? That's going to get her to basically keep going on around, yeah, it doesn't make sense, keep building up that frustration. And it's going to make her feel that, look, I'm on your team here. Big, 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 big. Because the other side of that is me asking these questions without being on her side. And it feels like I'm like attacking her. And I'm like, oh, you're only getting 85 views. That's not enough. Are you happy with that? No. Like, and it feels like it's a confrontation almost. I don't want to say it is, but it's like, yeah, there's different ways you need to speak to people. Again, because of the self-esteem and shit and whatever, I have to change my position when I'm speaking to her to get the outcome I want. Again, it's a bit more nuanced. Do I sell like this every time? No, I just read the person and do what they need in that moment, and this is what she needed.
Oh no, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like what's going on.
Sure. Well, like, collectively though.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Let's go. I already know the emotion that I want to get to, which is frustration. Because obviously, if you have such a powerful message and an identity, and you're only getting 85 views, nobody is happy with that. So that's what I can tell was going to happen.
We have to really, and it may not be the most accurate thing, but I'd like to make them tangible. Like, how many people do you think have actually seen and actually been impacted by your message?
Well, I have like 17,000 views on YouTube collectively.
Okay.
So about that much.
Okay. And for you, like if 2 years went by and we're still in the same position, is that what you'd settle for?
No, no.
Well, how come? Why not?
I don't know. I feel like right now I'm in a place where I'm not reaching the people that I know need this, especially on Instagram because I took my personal Instagram and changed it to a business one. And so all the people on there are like people from my old paradigm. And with the algorithm, it tends to give you viewers that are similar to your followers. So that's been challenging. But
Right.
why's that?
No, that's right.
Okay, yeah. So
But But why would you settle for like the current level of growth you're on?
Because I just don't feel like it's resonating either with the people that are listening or I just don't think it's like satisfying enough. I don't know, like
Right. Well, how long have you felt this way for?
I think it's always been like a thing where it's like I'm gonna keep growing, I'm gonna keep building, I'm gonna keep like as long as I keep it up and I'm consistent, it's gonna continue to grow. It's inevitable. And
Yeah, see, so for me, this is part of the limiting belief and pre-handling process next. For me, whenever someone is like, and this is so this call you're watching is the like framework to handle like spiritual people, if you will. Obviously, it depends on what you sell. I don't know what you sell. If you want to get more information, join the program. I'll break it down, tailor everything to you. But for spiritual people, there's a few things: the ego, and then there's protecting themselves against pain. What she's doing. It's like, oh, don't worry, I'm still going to be positive and blah, 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 blah. And if that is held up, it stops us from ripping into pain. It stops us from looking at how shit the current situation is. It stops us from feeling the emotions she needs to feel to make a change. So that's what she's doing here with all the words she's saying. And you'll see how I handle that.
I'm in this place right now where it feels like there's lots of crickets. And I
Yeah,
remember
how long have you felt like you haven't really been hitting the right that resonance that you're looking for? Like, how long have you felt that way?
probably like 2 months because
Oh, okay.
there were some videos that did really well
Yeah.
and it hit the right people. But like since then, I don't know, it's just been confusing to be in that
I can
place.
imagine.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine. I mean, has that had an impact on you?
Yeah, but I've also
How though?
The impact has been that I've had to come to a place of like what I said before, just being truly balanced, being like in a place where I have to integrate the spiritual realm with the physical. And I follow numerology too, and I know that that's kind of my life path.
Yeah, just more, cope.
Is to find balance in those aspects. But yeah, I'm sorry.
But in terms of like how it's actually showing up for you on the personal level, like how is this actually affecting you?
Okay,
Like,
so
this
yeah,
is
I just think that I feel like it's been not as challenging as things have been in the past because I've gone through multiple stages of my life where I've had to either do sales or put myself out there and kind of experience like people not wanting to buy my product or just not being interested in what I have to say, but fully knowing that like what I have to bring is of value. So I think right now is honestly just integrating those parts of me, like being completely okay with not seeing results.
Right. But you can be honest with yourself too, like, because I can see a pattern. It's like, for us to change things, we have to look at things objectively, right? And people respond differently to when we look at things. Like what I notice, I love psychology by the way, so what I notice is like when we look at things or in this conversation, right, like that are not necessarily where we want it to be, I notice a pattern you have around like saying, oh, it's not that bad because of XYZ, and which is a protection mechanism. Do you know what I mean? Right?
Okay.
And that's normal because I'm the same way, but it prevents the breakthroughs when we don't really fully understand the current situation. Right? We don't fully accept that. And not being happy with something doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to manifest more of it. No. It just means that I can consciously choose not to be there anymore. Do you know? If I actually asked you, like, the impact that the past few months that you're not feeling like you're getting resonance, like, what has that actually done for you internally?
Like what changed? What has changed?
Like, how's it impacted you internally over the last few months?
So when you were talking, I came up with something, but then you asked it after that.
That's okay.
So I think that I've sat with myself a bit and been frustrated. I have been like objective.
There we fucking go. Like the word that we're looking for is just frustration. Now, it might be you might think, oh yeah, Captain Obvious. Like yeah, okay, like we knew this. But to get your prospects to say what you want them to say is where the sale is won. Okay, like I'm not gonna tell her to be frustrated. I had to fucking break out, set some frames, go on that little monologue there. Like I break it down a bit further in the program, but like just for brevity here, that piece was important because now moving forward, she's going to be a lot more real with me on the sales call, and this is where it starts.
Like I used to blame Instagram because the algorithm is not favoring me, but I know that there's like a science to everything, and YouTube especially, I feel like their algorithm is great, and they would be pushing out content if it was something that people like. And so if my content is not hitting, if it's not getting the traction that I'm looking for, then there's something that I need to work on, and I'm constantly trying to improve. But I'm also like I know that if I choose a different reality, I can shift into that.
100%.
Yeah. So I guess it's just me coming to that place. But I guess there's like fear there.
Of course. I say, do you know why I said of course? Because in shifting to that new reality, that's outside of your current comfort zone, right?
Right.
And that's the type of growth you want to have, isn't it?
Yes.
Like to be able to look back and see like millions and millions of people like saying, hey, you like because of you and how you package your message, like you actually helped improve my life. Like that's a new version of yourself, you know. And for that to exist, you have to grow outside of your current reality, right? And
Yeah.
so consciously, all the neural pathways you may have at this present moment are actually in direct opposition to that, you know. And that's where the fear starts to come in. Now, the fear is normal, it's okay, right? But the problem becomes, this is why I'm asking these questions because I want to empower you today. The problem becomes, and by the way, you've watched Netflix before, right? Like you've watched like Simon Sinek, all these other people, Amy Cuddy, Marissa Peer, like, and all these guys, they changed my life personally by watching, right? And it's so funny, they all had the same feeling that you're currently feeling right now. But do you know what the difference was?
What?
They pushed past that, you know, they pushed through that.
But what does that look like? Like, if you push past the fear.
What it means is you take action even though you feel it, right? Have you ever read the book like, which is, that's why I love and challenge you, right? Because we're still not at the millions right yet. So,
what does that look like?
Listen to this. Let's slow this shit down. I like that.
But do you know what the difference was?
What?
They pushed past that. You know, they pushed through that.
But what does that look like? Like, if you push past the fear.
What it means is you take action even though you feel it, right? Have you ever read the book like, which is, this is where I love and challenge you, right? Because we're still not at the millions right yet.
So what did she say? She said to me, yeah, like I'm like, yeah, listen, like I'm using frames, I'm setting frames to pre-handle fear. I'm setting some frames because she was fearful from the fucking minute. So I have to, now's the right time. Now I have leverage in the conversation because I've already broken her bullshit. I've got more leverage to keep adding on more frames to get her to buy into. Now she says something like, oh, but I feel like I'm already there yet. But you see, like, I'm not just gonna accept that because if I do accept that, that just builds momentum where she's gonna be like, oh no, but I already have this, or I already have no. I have to basically say, shut up, you're not there yet. Respectfully, lovingly, respectfully, you're not there yet. So you haven't tried. And that's kind of what I did here. Very, very important because as you can see, this is the limiting belief / removal pre-handling process or part of the sales coheres because you will start to hear if you do the beginning right, you will start to hear them start to come out. It will just be expressed. And it's your job to basically pre-hand them, remove them, extract them, whatever. Then you obviously pitch and then you close after that. But let's keep going.
Though you feel it, right? Have you ever read the book like, which is, this is where I love and challenge you, right? Because we're still not at the millions right yet. So what I'm saying is like, you feel the fear and you do it anyway. Like hats off to you. Like I think it takes immense, courage, which you've shown to even be here today, openly, expressing yourself to get help. That's extreme humility, and that takes courage. But the next level is using that to get the support you need to be in that position that you want to be. And the reason why I say this is because, and honestly, this hurts me most because my mission is to empower people to live their calling. What hurts me is that when people allow that fear to stop them from living out their own dreams, and 5, 10, 15, 20 years goes by, they die, and they end up dying with the message. And
boom.
That's not just their loss, my loss, but that's also the thousands of millions of people that could have needed someone like them in their lives that they've also missed out on, isn't it?
Now that is implied cost of inaction there. Like that's fucking, like obviously I'm speeding it up, but like when you're in the moment, like at 1x speed, like you feel that shit.
Right.
Because let's look at this together. Like if we let that fear, and maybe for you the fear is like not being sure if you're worthy, right, or fear of being seen, right? Like if we let that stop us from getting the exposure that you're looking for, and we stay at the same level of exposure we're at right now, what does that look like moving forward for you?
Not good.
Or what does it tangibly actually look like on a day-to-day basis?
Like for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
if it remained that way, I would be frustrated. I've had to not allow my work life to affect my personal life though, and that's hard when I'm like doing something that is not really actually making money yet. And it's like a part of me, like this creative outlet is a part of me. So not letting it affect my personal life has been a challenge, but it's also been something that's grown me in a lot of ways to have the confidence to know that I do have a message and that if I just keep being consistent and keep pressing into the growth that's there, something that wants to push out of me or push through me. Because honestly, the last few months have been so challenging in that regard. Like I've had to really see the dark sides of me, and so it's been enriching. It's been good to get to that place because I don't think that I could get to that place if I wasn't constantly showing up on Instagram, constantly showing up on, and it's been good. But I also don't want to just keep looking at the dark side. I don't want to keep staying in this set.
Because ultimately, like, who's responsible for
actually see results?
Because ultimately, like, who's responsible for whether you do see results and actually overcome your own fear? Whose only job is it really?
Mine.
You know, and for you, like, it doesn't sound like you settle for being stuck where you are.
Right.
You know, and I know for the leader that you want to be remembered as, and maybe recognition maybe isn't like your key motivator, but it's always nice to have, right? It's always validating to hear and have the consistent feedback that others have actually found our message like meaningful and that actually matters and that spurs us to do more. I mean, I can't imagine you wouldn't want to overcome any sort of fear to fully step into that new timeline of reality for yourself, right?
Right.
Because how committed are you to seeing change, really?
Very committed.
And what does very committed mean?
Well, I looked into a $10,000 coaching program.
Okay.
And
So this is the reason why I wanted to like break down this call, because like the sales process, whatever. Like, I personally love this, but this call was interesting because it's one of the I've done this a few times where people with fear and money issues and partner and self belief and blah 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 tell you like all that shit combined with, oh, I was gonna join a program, which is she's gonna say that's so big, and she didn't join it because of the price, and I'm gonna sell her something that's 15K. That's not easy to do, and we did, and I'm gonna show you how. Can't remember what I was gonna say there, but I love this because now, because I've done everything before right, I'm getting this now, and I'm gonna have more leeway and leverage to basically get her on our side here. Okay.
And I'm committed to putting myself out there on a stage, even if I completely bomb. And I'm willing to keep showing up on Instagram and YouTube, despite the fact that I might look back at my videos and be like, oh, that's so cringeworthy. And constantly working, like coming up with new ideas. I'm on ChatGPT like almost every day. So I've gotten dedicated for sure.
And do you feel like you're actually ready now to like add gasoline to the fire that you're building to really just like, okay, this once and for all?
Yeah.
Why do you feel like now's the time for you to do that and actually invest in some extra help?
Because I want it.
And this is why I love any challenge you know, but you wanted this what 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when now, really?
Oh, because I feel like I'm ready. I feel like before I didn't have a crystal clear image of what it was that I wanted to talk about. And now I do. I feel like there's been so much introspection and understanding. And I do feel like I've gained a lot of confidence, but I also want to gain more confidence, and I want to shift into another paradigm. I don't know, like.
Yeah, there's always levels. There's always levels. And the funny thing is, it's like no one's ever really like there's never a perfect time, right? Like the best time was yesterday, you know. Right. You never really know if you're fully ready because there's, like I said, like we just agreed on, there's always levels. There's always levels to like self-confidence and belief, but as long as you have that small house, that's what starts everything. Because once you get positive reinforcement, it just keeps building and building and building and building. And that's how then you turn into like an AD cardio or science in it or something like that, like down the line, because you took action on that first ounce of inspiration, you know. But the second you don't take the action, you just start building out a fire, right, on a matchstick. It just goes, you know. And so for you, like, how would it feel for you? Like you're actually on that TEDx stage, you're speaking full time, you have way more, even more self-confidence and belief in yourself that this is your calling, right? Like, is there anything else in the world you'd rather do than really share your message full time?
Other than be a mom and a wife, no.
Yeah, that would be combined with it, you know. Yeah, but this is like your calling, isn't it?
Yes.
But for you to fully feel like that impact of reaching millions of people on the stage, like what would change for you personally?
Everything.
Like specifically, yeah, what would actually change?
I feel like I would be the version of myself that I was always looking at being. Like when I first started doing my inner work, I started imagining who I wanted to be, and there was this confidence.
Woo! Mate, like this is what I mean when I say like mission selling, because and yeah, I can do it a lot more on these offers, but you can also do it in business offers and all. When you really understand what drives people, what gets them going, and you use the language and you paint pictures with your words in your questions, you will get them to the point where they're like, I literally vision me being this person. This was my life's work. Like, that is a depth of sales and a depth of fucking buying and leverage that, like, even if I sold her a program for 70K and she gets financing, that's still a win, you know. And I'd be able to do that because of the leverage and the buying and the whole process here, you know. Like it's so, I'm gonna go back on this because it's just crazy.
Like when I would be the version of myself that I was always looking at being. Like when I first started doing my inner work, I started imagining who I wanted to be, and there's this confident, successful woman who didn't care what other people thought, and was just able to get anything she wanted in a graceful way, that exuded beauty, and was able to share a message to people that changed their lives, and was able to fulfill her purpose. So if I was able to start speaking on stage and start getting paid for it and start validated and gaining that confidence, because I know just the action of speaking in front of people, it's really challenging, but it changes who you are and builds your confidence so much. So just doing that, I feel like would shift me into that dream person.
So listen, right? She started the call saying, "Listen, I'm not even sure if this is for me." Blah 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 blah. To like, oh, actually, I imagine this, and this is who I want to be. Boom, big difference, right?
100%, you know, and that's such a powerful like vision to have for yourself. It's very specific. And I mean, when did you have that first like picture being so clear?
So it's developed over the years, but I feel like I started to get really clear, like out of desperation, needing to get very clear, probably about a year ago.
Wow. Because for you, how would it feel for you being able to like actually see that with your own two eyes in the 3D, you know?
I'd be blown away. I wouldn't even know who that was, I guess.
It's almost like, you know, when you manifest something like that, it's like, and I had a recent, I don't know if you know who Joe Dispenza is, right? Like, that guy changed my life. Like, I was doing a lot of his like new potentials, meditations, breaking habits of being yourself. And like, the first time I had that successful manifestation, it just felt like the word was surreal. Like, I never really understood what the hell that meant. But the second you have that reality like show up in your face, it's like, yeah, that's the word I'd use. Yeah, it's like that surreal feeling of like, this is what life is capable of being, you know?
Right, yeah. And being here was just like one of those things, like every place I've ever been. Really?
Yeah. And then you're more trusting yourself, I hope.
Yeah.
Like even just from this conversation so far, like,
yeah.
That's my intention to leave you. I would not want any fear because that's your God-given right. Like who is to say what to change things? Of course, I do have full conviction in what we have here. Very genuine, coachable ego, right? And it's huge.
Yeah, I really appreciate this. This is not at all what I was expecting.
Well, maybe you manifested me because I think most of the others on the team are not really the same. Right, yeah. Question I have for you though, right? Because we offer a lot of support here, and you mentioned. Well, I should really ask you, like, what have you been out there looking at in order to actually make this happen for yourself?
So I'm actually gonna gloss over this section. It's a bit too powerful. No, actually, we'll whiz through it. I won't really. Let's see.
In terms of support, have you been out there looking or not at all?
Yes, yeah. So do you know Alyssa Nabrita?
No, I don't.
Okay, she's one of those spiritual people on YouTube, and she has a great coaching program. And I scheduled a call to do like an interview kind of like this last week, and I didn't know what the commitment was, and I was hoping to be able to do that soon, or at least like the start of next year. So that's something, but it's like a year-long program.
Okay.
And then just constantly on YouTube, constantly absorbing information, reading books. But I would say like, and my mom is kind of on the same. Like we started our awakening. She started had a spiritual awakening a little bit before me, so we've kind of been able to support each other in that way. But I'm getting to a place now where she's not even like there. Like she's like, I don't know what to give advice on this about. Like
Okay, you kind of need someone who's been there, done that to like
yes.
guide you. Okay. And so I guess then you said her name was Alyssa Nubrika. I guess with that support, did you see that support in it being able to put you into that new version of yourself, or you're actually speaking full time and impacting millions of people?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
She has like a lot of great reviews on her website. People that have made like or had 80K months from coaching and things like that. So that's like another big thing for me is I want to have like intimate calls and interactions with people like this. So speaking it would definitely help in that regards of like the more external realm of what I want to do. But I deeply am passionate about having like one-on-one time with people. So I feel like that would really help me to be the genuine coach that someone would need.
Yeah, and when you say with people, you mean with mentors, right? Like specifically like
with mentors.
Your mentors, like anyone you're choosing to work with, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I mean, did that program offer that? Like what was it about that program that made you either put things off or not necessarily do that if you wanted to move quickly with your vision and impacting these people?
Well, I guess because like the early bird deadline is actually today for that.
Okay.
I just don't know if I'm ready to make that financial commitment yet. We just moved here, and it's just like I don't know how that would be possible. And at the same time, I know that anything could happen if I chose to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just like trying to figure that out. I guess I'll have to do a lot of praying today.
Right. Well, so the only reason why you didn't or haven't yet, because we don't know, like, is purely finances or like, because I'm trying to understand, and maybe I think differently. It's like I sometimes feel like if something's fits my bill, I wouldn't necessarily look in another call with another company. So I guess then, what aspect of maybe what they're offering do you feel like isn't that has you here speaking to me today?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that it's more so. I feel like what you all have to offer would be something that I could take off the ground running with instead of taking a lot of time to integrate everything, but I want to do both, like I want to be the best version of myself and work on myself over time to give the most value, but I do want to like get on stage and start doing things right away. So
You don't think that's possible with Elise's program, or
no,
why not?
just because it's
Aye, now we're digging the grave, yeah. So I'm not gonna go too mad or deep on this here, but essentially what I am doing is letting her tell me why the other program is not good enough and why we're the better solution without even me fucking trying. Okay, there's a lot of nuances here that um, took me many years to really like understand. And this is how you're going to be able to basically outsell competitors without beating them around the bush with objection handling. You actually weave that in your sales process. Again, I break this down into my program specifically because it is one of the, if I'm being honest with you, it is one of the biggest things that has made me outsell in any difficult industry.
It's a longer program and it just takes a lot longer. It's
Why speed so important for you?
I've always been like that. I'm always like, what can I do to create the most efficiency? And I think for a while it was because I wanted to go through something really quickly to see if it was right for me or not. And to like prevent anything from happening that, or like to be in something too long where I'm not happy in.
I see.
Does that make sense?
I think, and you can tell me if I misunderstood, it's like maybe there was an experience where you were kind of committed for something for long and like you were in it and you didn't really like feel like it satisfied you, or like is that really where this speed comes from? Or?
Yeah, I think it's the religious aspect. That's a really great question. Because I was a Christian my whole life and
So I'm going to pause here. There's a lot more to this basically that allowed me to go through her experience, unpack the fear. Let me just see if I keep going. One sec.
Wow, so a lot, and it's not like, oh, we'll give you a call a month or a week or something like that. Really, genuinely. Criteria for you moving forward as you decide to develop them.
Bringing up all the shadows, like is it
Is that the type of support you're looking for?
Yeah. Is it like well, I guess I'll just wait for you to explain the whole program.
Yeah, I'll go through that. Yeah. My question for you though, because I can hear how committed you are and how quickly you want to move, but it's like it still sounds like the financial piece is still something that you have to think about, or at least resolve in order for you to actually like move as quickly as you want. Is that correct?
Yes, because since we just moved here, we're using all my husband took a commission-based job, so we're using all the money that we saved up to live off of, and we're just waiting for him to actually get commission. We don't want to like commit to anything like financially until we have that rolling.
Right. Okay. Because the reason I ask, I mean, and I'll show you inside the program and stuff like that. Like when you're a full-time speaker, like our standards in the community is like for each speaking engagement that we help you get, like you should only really be charging minimum like 10 grand per engagement, right? And you can do engagements weekly. Like we have students that do speaking engagements and keynotes and things like that every single week. Could do the math there, it's quite a sizable amount. But you see, knowing your goal is to move quickly and your current situation is the way it is, it's a bit of like I don't know, I can't find the right word. Like there's a bit of like how do we? Yes, there we go. Resistance, right? Because let's look at it this way. I like to use this analogy like causes, right, or symptoms, right, and actual problems, right. Like if we look at your current situation, let's say financially on the move and like where we are right now financially, is that the actual problem or is it like the symptom of a problem?
That's a good question. I did kind of come to this realization yesterday that I was in this energy of needing. And when you're in a needy energy, you're siphoning energy away from you. So, and I can definitely see that in like just everyone that we kind of interact with, like, and you attract who you are. So it seems like there's people that don't believe that they can have a certain life because the limiting beliefs that they have. So I know that that's true, and maybe that's like.
It's like the mirror principle. Yeah, but I guess tangibly though, looking at like, let's say money's tight right now, is that the actual problem or is that the symptom of the deeper problem?
I guess it's a symptom.
Why would you say that?
That would just make the most sense in regards to how spirituality works.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm just want to make sure. And there's multiple lenses to look at it. But I mean, it's like if you were making more, right, we wouldn't be in this situation right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, the real problem is how do we get the finances up, isn't it? Right. Now, it's similar to when you go to I don't know, like a doctor. I hate using doctor, but like a doctor, therapist, this, that, the other. Like when we have internal things going on or issues and we're seeking help, they can't ever fix the symptoms if we don't actually address the root problem, right? So if we really want to address the root problem, which is bringing more cash in, how will we ever do that if we don't look into our current situation, see what we financially can do in order to fix that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is it because it makes it almost impossible, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and just like you said, like it's not really a position that you want to stay at for the next 2 years.
No, yeah. So maybe that's where like that guided me too.
Potentially, but then again, it goes back to who's responsible too.
Yeah, that's true. Good.
Boom.
Because right now, like you have a choice.
Come on, I have to say this shit, right? And this is what I mean. Like, I had to do the call this way, put all these frames, because the piece here is, and I did skip a lot of the call. The piece here is like, I'm scared to invest. I don't have the money. I don't this. 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 And you still don't want to take responsibility for this whole thing. So I have to just lay it down like boom, 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 boom. And she's already bought into it before. So how are you going to discredit me and what we're saying now? I'm just going to go back just to play that again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because it makes it almost impossible, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and just like you said, like it's not really a position that you want to stay at for the next 2 years.
No, yeah. So maybe that's where like that guided me too.
Potentially, but then again, it goes back to who's responsible too.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Because right now, like you have a choice. It's like you can look for ways to make it work with what you have right now. We can continue to say we don't have the financial resources, and maybe looking at another goal with Joe down the road, and the same thing. Same thing happens 6 months down the line, and really, it's not just about what we miss out on. It's also the other people that are missing out on for listening to your message too, isn't it?
Again, why does this land? Because I set it up properly during the call. So let's see what she responds with.
That's not really the place we want to be in, is it?
Right.
So what can we actually, looking at your situation right now, like how resourceful can we get so that we can see a better future moving forward?
I could probably talk to one person. See what the options are with that.
How do you?
Well, my mom could probably help, but I don't know. I would have to talk to her and see what would be the best option. Because I talked to her about the Alyssa Nabriga program. She really likes them too. And it was funny because I almost asked her for supporting me in that, but I didn't. And I don't know if she was
Well,
like,
Jack.
was that
Well, Jack.
asking for.
See, all of this stuff I haven't even pitched yet. I had to get all this information out now. Because imagine if I don't ask that now and I tell her, oh, and she's like, I'll go speak to my mum, the same pattern is going to stop her from getting the investment from her mum. So I have to get it now.
For money, I feel like I've always had that uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
And I asked my family for money before and they supported me, but it always feels awkward, you know?
You feel like you're taking from them, right?
Yes.
I know how that feels. Yeah, because that's how I grew up with my mum and dad, who would work. My mum's a nurse, my dad's an accountant, my mum used to work nights, and so because of my story around how she had money being like hard and things like that, I'd feel bad for asking. And until I became aware of that, just like we were saying with inner child work, where I had to literally do my own inner child work to heal my personal life story around, and it was very deep for me. I felt like a burden for asking, right? But until I cleared that, then I could allow more money to come through into my business, right? And we'd get more clients and things would work. But it's until we actually cleared that then, you know, because I want to make sure that you become who you're meant to be, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not a straight line, but there's things that we can pull together so it becomes a straight line. I'm trying to fix the pieces for you here, you know.
Yeah.
So okay, money's an option, but in terms of, let's say, your personal finances at this point, what does that look like? Are you earning an income? Do you know what your credit score is? Because there's different avenues we can brainstorm as potential ways.
So I'm not earning an income right now. I'm an artist, and so I still get to find like a gallery that I can put my art in. And my credit score is probably like in the sixes.
Okay.
My husband's is a little bit higher. I think his is 700 or something.
Okay.
So yeah.
Sure. And your husband, does he have credit cards and things like that?
Yeah, too.
Okay. The reason I ask is because we do have an amazing financing team that can get you approved, especially with such a high score like 700s, that can get you approved for a new 0% interest card, which can take care of the investment. And what that would do is break it down into like smaller, like monthly minimum payments of like $500 or so, until you get to the point where like you're making good money from speaking, and then it's like you can take care of the rest of the program. So I believe that would be the best route to go down.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
For sure. Because what we can do, I'll show you the program. I'll walk you through all the components. Do you have a hard stop, by the way? I know I've gone over, but do you have a hard stop? Or,
I just have a little baby friend, but I'll get her and she can join us.
Sure.
Cool. So you can already hear the direction and what we did. Let's just see what goes on next. Pitch. Oh.
Into that new version of yourself, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing, if fully done?
Yeah.
So I manifested this in a Joe Dispenza 100%. So those are the 3 bonuses that you get access that you can do.
Not today, no.
That's okay. I'll try and let me message. You're in, but it's like now we've got to make sure that whoever's involved, like your mother or sister, to follow, that you could, that money like fulfills you.
It's kind of like, I think that if he heard that the
Most-
yeah, or
yeah.
the being able to like get your money back more quickly would be more encouraging to him.
Yeah, and we have full money back guarantee as well. And on top of that, we would.
So I think it'd be helpful to hear from you.
Okay.
So I think I would just have an hour to talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the bulk of the call. You heard it. Like, I was unpacking a lot of the limiting beliefs, pre-handling. Just at the end, there's just some logistic stuff like connecting her to the finance team, getting her husband approved, getting her over the line. But you see, this here is an example of, like I said, on the surface, it looks pretty simple. I've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. But those 6 lines had to be done in such an intricate way in order to get the outcome of helping this person who fearful, scared, self-belief issues, money issues, no job, not this, that, everything, literally everything. And how you can literally speak to the person, give them what they need, and get them on the other side where they get the help that they're looking for. So that's all. And I hope you got some value from that. All right, bro. So I hope you liked that one. Okay, there was a bit more finesse there. Now, if you actually want to see more, because again, I'm not showing you basic or what's the North Star type of sales calls here. I'm not showing that shit. Okay, we're a bit more advanced here. If you want to know more, you want to see more of the advanced side of sales, how sophisticated people sell, how to sell B2B. Of course, I can show you how to sell fitness and all this other normal stuff. Okay, but if you want to really get to that top level, you're going to want to head into the top 1% closer program where I actually break down so many of my calls, even some of my current calls. I never stop selling. I've always been selling. I can't run away from sales. I've just been selling in different industries for myself now because I run a few agencies. So if you want to actually understand how I really sell, you want to see some ninja nuanced stuff, you're going to want to book in a call to speak to me directly so I can help you out and make sure you have the skill set so you can dominate as well. All my guys, everyone I train, guys, girls, they all succeed because they have and are equipped with the right skill set to stand out in the market. And that's why all of us keep getting the best offers, we'll keep making the most money, and we'll keep succeeding. So if you want to join that club, book in a call, show you how to be a top 1% closer so you can join the movement and change your life as well. So that's all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.